Alright, folks, this is it. UFC 200, Cormier versus Jones dose. And obviously, it's the biggest UFC show to date. The biggest one we've ever had. We got a lot of huge name stars on the show. We got Jon Jones, we got Brock Lesnar making a comeback, and pretty much every single fight that is on this card could be a main event matchup on at least one UFC show. I mean, granted, the undercard stuff, that's kind of a stretch, but pretty much everything in the top five, in fact, there's probably like the top 9 or 10 fights on the show could definitely headline, if not their own pay-per-view, at least their own, cable television event. And you know what? It's going to be a big one. I'm really excited about this. Must have been pumped for a UFC show in a long time. And we start from the top. Daniel Cormier taking on Jon Jones. Now, when you look at this fight, you really got to consider, just how, fortuitous it is. How incredibly lucky we are to have it. Because these two guys are the best fighters on the planet. I mean, you can talk about pound for pound, you can talk about, pure skill set, what have you. These two guys right here are the best fighters on the planet. Daniel Cormier is far and away the best heavyweight fighter on the planet. You put him in there against Fabricio Verdum, Stipe Miesha, Cain Velasquez, Junior Dos Santos, Brock Lesnar, whoever. You give him to Daniel Cormier, Cormier is going to beat them. He's far and away the best 220-plus fighter on the planet right now. Taking a step back, now he's fighting at 205. And Jon Jones, obviously, is the best light heavyweight fighter on the planet. So we got the world's best light heavyweight. Not even the world's best light heavyweight, maybe the best light heavyweight who's ever fought in the UFC, and he's only 28. Imagine how scary that is. Taking on, without question, the best heavyweight there is in mixed martial arts today. And even better, there is a lot of bad blood between these two. The first fight was great. And really, you couldn't ask for a better matchup to headline the biggest UFC show ever. So Cormier versus Jon Jones. Now I can go in here and I can feed you statistics. I can, retrudge the highlights from the first fight. But when you look at this, there's a very, very simple storyline in place. Both these guys are very versatile. They're great wrestlers. They both have great striking. You go back and you watch Jon Jones versus Daniel Cormier, the first fight from UFC, was it 182, I believe? You go back and you watch that fight, and the first 2 rounds are just a war. Just these guys going in there, just slugging it out, taking their shot, trying to get their jabs in, trying to get that knockout blow early, and they didn't get it. It's because these guys are very good defensive fighters. They're hard to hit. They go in there, they're smart, they don't throw caution in the wind, they're not going to go in there and try to do some crazy, flippy strike force stuff. They're smart. They're methodical. They take their time, they pick their chances. And I see this fight, like I said, there's always the possibility of like a fluke knockout or a flash, of KO from out of nowhere, like a head kick or a spinning elbow. Always in the realm of possibility, but just knowing the way these two guys fight, knowing their pedigree, knowing their technique, knowing how they match up in the first fight, this one seems like pretty much a gimme for another 25 minutes war of attrition. And when you look at this, the wrestling is very, very good. Striking, both very good. Submissions, incredible fighters. So what do you think is going to happen? I think that ultimately this fight will end up playing out a lot like the first one. And I think with that in mind, obviously you got to give the tilt a little bit towards Jon Jones. Now here's where Daniel Cormier can improve on what he did last time. If he goes in there, instead of going for striking, instead of going there looking for that looping knockout blow and getting him close and getting the clinch and just having a really, really close, pound, in the clinch kind of fight. If he goes in there and tries to get the takedown set up early, if instead of going there and trying to bang with Jon Jones, which frankly I think if Jon Jones and Daniel Cormier bang in the stand-up, just a trading war, Jones is going to win. But if Cormier goes in there with the mindset of, I'm not even going to mess around with striking, I'm just going straight for the takedown, I think he has a shot of winning this one. Now, of course, Jon Jones is not, easy to take down. That first fight, it took, Cormier, the 4th round, or the 5th round even, to get his first takedown against Jon Jones. So that defense, that's really, really good. That's a huge variable. But if Cormier can go in there and just, get Jon Jones against the cage and just start working and wearing him down, he can win it. Now, here's the problem with that, and here's why Daniel Cormier is probably not going to do it. You try to go in there and you do that early, Jon Jones, he's still fresh. He's only been fighting for like a minute or two. He can clip you. He's got deadly elbows. You know, he can hit you from all these weird angles, legs. He can hit you with his hands, you know. I mean, if they allowed headbutts, he'd probably do that too. He's just so versatile. He's so fast. He's so rangy. And, you know, if Cormier goes in there and tries that strategy, he leaves himself open. And Jon Jones, if you give him an opening, he will capitalize. So for me, it becomes this really, you know, cerebral back and forth, almost like watching Virtua Fighter, you know, where you got the guy punching up and the guy punching down, and whoever gets clipped first loses. That's what's going to happen in this fight. You're going to see these guys go in there and trade blows, and it's going to be intense, and, you know, Cormier's going to have the advantage for a while, then Jon Jones. This will go back and forth for a round or two, and then somebody's going to get tired. And you look at their body shapes, Cormier, he's going to gas earlier. It's just the way he's built. There's no way around that. And I think, truly, in my heart of hearts, whoever gets the first takedown in this fight will win the entire thing. And I think, first verse, same as the second, I got Jon Jones winning it. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I think Cormier is going to have a little bit more luck. I think he's definitely going to win at least a round or two. He might win the first round. He might win the second round. So it's going to put Jon Jones in the corner to really amp up his game for third, fourth, and fifth round. But just knowing what these guys can do, knowing their fighting styles and what works best for them, got to go with Jon Jones. 5 rounds, unanimous decision. And now we're going from that to the exact opposite. If that's going to be a cerebral, grueling 25-minute war of attrition, the co-main event, Brock Lesnar versus Mark Hunt, that's just going to be like a train wreck. This is like 2 trucks going at each other with their brakes cut. You know, you got like sausage and fireworks in the back just hitting each other full on. This will not last long. This is one of those fights where if it lasts longer than 2 minutes, then something really, really wrong happened. And, you know, Brock Lesnar hasn't fought since 2011. Mark Hunt, he's gone there. He's got some impressive wins. I mean, this is a dude, you know, he's fought for championships. You know, he had the fight against Fabrice Verdum. He's knocked out a lot of really, really great top-tier fighters. And, of course, you know, he's the king of the walk-off home run hit. Brock Lesnar does not like getting hit in the face. We know that. He can't take it. You know, he's one of those guys where if you get up in his grill and you knock him, he can't cope with it. He just can't take a punch. Some dudes are like that. And Mark Hunt, go back and watch the Ray Sefo fight. He likes to get punched in the face. He likes to get hit. He likes to hit people. He's a dude who's going to want to make this a war. So I think the smart money, you know, you'd have to give it to Mark Hunt. But here's the thing. It's UFC 200. You go back, you watch Michael Bisping knock out Luke Rockhold. You watch Dan Henderson get that big win against Hector Lombard. You see all these crazy, fluky things happen. Stipe Miesha against Fabrice Verdum. Things happen. You go in there, you try to have a dog fight. You try to go in there and win what you know wins you fights, but you slip up. And I think what's going to happen, and it's going to be very unpopular, but I think Mark Hunt's going to go in there. He's going to go for that looping knockout punch first, but he's going to whiff on it. He's going to whiff on it. And guys, in case you forgot, Mark Hunt has terrible takedown defense. This is a dude, you know, well, back in 2010, I mean, he was getting beat by like absolute tomato cans. I mean, dude just like dragging him down, like pop, one hit, he's out. I mean, he's losing some terrible, terrible fights. And I think it's going to happen here. I think Mark Hunt's going to shoot for the takedown or try to go in there for that big punch. Lesnar's going to trap him. He's going to single leg him. He's going to get him on the ground. And I think Lesnar just tees off. And it's going to be quick. It's going to be fast. It's going to be ferocious. The referee's going to go in there and stop it really early. Because if Brock Lesnar thinks he's going to win this fight, they're going to let him win that fight. So I think Lesnar goes in there in less than 2 minutes. Hunt gets tripped up. Lesnar wins it. TKO. And from there, I don't know. You know, I hear that Fedor Emelianenko guy is kind of a free agent. And you got that big Madison Square Garden show coming up. Just saying. Just saying. It's a possibility. All right. Miesha Tate against Amanda Nunes. Really, really interesting matchup here. This is one of those fights where I kind of have an idea of where I want to go for like the main card fights. But this is the one where it's very iffy. Just looking at it, you know, you got the slight reach advantage for Amanda Nunes. Reach advantage, obviously, height advantage, leg reach. But Tate's more versatile. You know, I think Amanda Nunes, you see her, she had that fight against Kat Zingano, where she just got, you know, capped. And really, the only people who ever beat Miesha Tate is Ronda Rousey. And I think she's got better takedowns, better takedown defense. Even though if you look at the stats, they're kind of even. But that's just the eye test. But here's the big variable. Submission average. 0.95 per fight for Nunes is ranked 4th. And our champion, Miesha Tate, got 1.78. You notice this kind of be like the Holly Holm fight where Nunes, she's got striking, and that's pretty much it. But Miesha Tate, she's got everything. She's got takedowns, she's got good defense. And I don't know, I just got to give it to her. I think she's too well-rounded. She's got too many weapons. I mean, Nunes only has one, and I think Tate can easily negate that. I got her winning 3rd round, early submission. Why not? All right, so moving along. We got another rematch here. Jose Aldo taking on Frankie Edgar for the interim featherweight title because, what's his name? That Cormier guy ain't fighting. And obviously the first fight, very hard fight. It was a decision victory, I believe, for Aldo. Well, I'm not believe. It was a decision victory for Aldo. Aldo obviously coming off that really hard loss to Conor McGregor last year. And Frankie Edgar, he's a guy who will not go away. He's just very competitive. He's a top-ranked fighter at 155, top-ranked fighter at 145 for the interim title. And like the Cormier-Jones fight, I mean, we do have an evidence-based model to gauge this fight. We know what happens. These two guys go in there. Aldo, he's kind of moved on from being a guy who goes in there and punches you really hard and kicks you in the face and you die. I mean, he's a much more complete fighter. I think that the thing against Conor McGregor really kind of was his we need to talk to Jesus moment about he should not go in there doing the striking thing. That's not going to win him fights. What wins him fights, of course, is the leg kicks, it's being methodical, it's pressing the action, it's getting the takedowns. He's one of the few really good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guys. He's also a really, really great wrestler. I mean, so it's a very unique model, and he can strike. So all across the board, he's got a lot of weapons. Now, Frankie Edgar, he's tough. He's a very, very tough dude. He's got good striking. But is he going to knock out Jose Aldo? No, he's not. He's got the reach advantage for Aldo. The leg reach goes towards Aldo. Pretty much even as far as striking accuracy. But defense, certainly a little bit better for Aldo. And, the takedowns, Edgar, he shoots for a lot of takedowns, but he doesn't get a lot of them. He's only getting about 1 out of 3 he goes in for, compared to Aldo, who's getting about 75% of his takedowns. And like I said, Aldo, great takedown defense, 91% defended. And of course, submissions, not really a big factor in here. This one's going to be 5 rounds. I think the first 2 rounds are going to be close, but Edgar, once he realizes he can't knock out Aldo, basically Aldo's going to try to play as conservative as possible, just keep the jab going, keep him at a distance, keep the fight from getting close, keep stopping the takedowns. And really, towards later, he's just going to make it really look like Edgar's out of his league. To where he's good, but he can't finish. And basically all he's got to do is just play good defense, rattle some shots, keep working the legs, and he can win this one. Pretty fast, little unanimous decision. So like I said, not really a controversial pick at all, but Cain Velasquez taking on Mr. Ronda Rousey, Travis Browne. Now this is a really interesting matchup because I think all things being equal, if these guys were 100%, we're doing the Super Smash Brothers style, Cain Velasquez wins this fight, and he wins it hands down. He's just better in every category. Better striking, better cardio, better takedowns, better wrestling, better defense. But you go back and you watch the Browne fight. It's clear the guy is not fighting the peak condition that we saw him back in 2010. Something happened in all those Junior Dos Santos fights where, he's blown a gasket. He's just not fighting the way he used to fight. I'm not sure if it's he's got some nagging knee injury or something, or he pulled a groin and he can't get back together. I don't know. He's just not fighting the way he used to fight. He's noticeably slower. His cardio is worse. And Travis Browne, let's don't come out and say this guy is a model of cardiovascular health, because he's not. I mean, he's a dude who goes in there and he hits hard, but he leaves himself open. So this is one of those fights where, on paper at least, it seems like it would favor Cain Velasquez. But like I said, freaky things happen at these big shows. Unpredictable, crazy things. And I think this one's going to be very, very short, kind of like the Lesnar versus Hunt fight. It's genetically engineered for a knockout, except this time around, the punch is going to go the opposite direction. I think Velasquez goes in there, he tries to pepper some shots at Browne. He might have some early success. He'll go for the takedown, not get it, and that's when Browne says, boop. and we get this crazy fluke on the chin knockout, and Velasquez goes out cold. Out of nowhere, just a flash knockout. I see it happening. I mean, just those crazy things that happen. And I'll give it to Travis Browne. I'm going to give it to him knockout round 1. I mean, not a really popular prediction. You know, looking at Velasquez, he's a former champion, but I just got that feeling. I just got that matchup, and Velasquez goes in here looking like he's probably going to be injured, and we'll see. I'm pulling the upset card. All right, and for our prelims, we got Kat Zingano. Her first fight since getting torn up by Ronda Rousey, taking on Juliana Pena, whose nickname is the Venezuelan Vixen, because they don't really have an economy in Venezuela anymore. But, Kat Zingano, she's only lost 1 fight, right? I mean, she beat Amanda Nunes. And Juliana Pena, I mean, she's good. But just look at the stats, more accuracy for Kat Zingano. She's got marginally better take. Oh, she has 100% takedown accuracy. She's way better. Way better at defending the takedown, 55% to 33%. And she's averaging about 2.45 submissions per fight compared to 1.88. I don't really know why. Well, I mean, obviously I know why. I just listed the reasons why. I think I go with Zingano. I think Pena, she's talented, but I think Zingano goes in there. She wears her down. First 2 rounds, pretty solid. She sort of imposes her will. 3rd round, takedown, submission or ground and pound, whatever she wants. Giving it to Zingano. Hendricks versus Gastelum. Johnny, he's a tough dude, but he saw a fight against Stephen Thompson. He can't make weight. He looks sick. He's not being able to hit people. I mean, he's got that deadly left hand, but he's not able to throw it anymore. I mean, he's something happened. He got hurt. We're seeing that notable depreciation of skills. And Kelvin Gastelum, I mean, let's face it, he's not exactly, like a championship material right now. I mean, if he gets a couple more fights under his belts and kind of expands his repertoire, he can. Johnny Hendricks definitely goes in there. Better wrestler, better takedown defense. Not really a submission fighter. Pretty even as far as height. Usually Hendricks is a very, very small underdog in these matchups, but not in this one. I don't know. I just think Hendricks goes in there and he blows his gasket early. In the first round, he goes out limping. In the second round, I think Gastelum takes him down and he gets some ground and pound and he wins it. I mean, just the way I see this fight going out and where these guys are, their current trajectories in their career, I don't know. I just think Hendricks is pretty much done. This might be his swan song. If he got beat up that bad by Thompson, and he's just going to lose again. That's not a fluke. That's just showing that you've got a lot of problems. And good luck for Kelvin. All right, TJ Dillashaw against Rafael Assunção. How do you pronounce that? Assunção. I'm going to call him Rafael. It's just easier. Taking on TJ Dillashaw. Dillashaw, a former champion. This is a rematch of a fight a long time ago. And it's like 2014, I believe. And obviously this is a huge fight. I mean, this could be its own pay-per-view headliner. Whoever wins this fight will likely go on to get a title shot after this, and they deserve it. All right, so what happens? Looking at the stats, kind of hard to pick, very evenly matched. This should be a good one. It's going to go 3 rounds. It's going to have to go to the judges' scorecard. Wow, these guys are evenly matched. The only real big variable we have here is takedown defense, 86% for Dillashaw compared to 76% for Rafael. And even then, it's not that huge of a difference. Submission averages 1.14 for Dillashaw compared to 0.46 for Rafael. Man, this is tough. It might be a split decision. That said, I'm going to go with Dillashaw. I just think he's a little bit faster. He's going in there. He's a little bit better with the striking. Assunção actually might be Rafael. I can't pronounce his last name. Sorry, I'm American. Just it. We don't understand all these squiggly things under the C or the little end tilde over the O. It's not our vernacular. I think Rafael's probably the more versatile fighter as far as the submission stuff and the takedown and balancing the ground and striking game. But Dillashaw, he's just faster. He clobbers you. He rattles off more shots, and I think that's enough to get him in favor of the scorecard. He wins split decision. All right, Sage Northcutt taking on Enrique Marin, and I don't know. To me, this seems like it's almost a fight engineered for Sage Northcutt to go in there and win by some really spectacular highlight reel knockout after losing to Bryan Barberena and getting choked out. Not much to say about this one. Sage Northcutt, he's landing about 3.19 snooker strikes per minute. I said significant, in case you're wondering. Compared to 1.8 for Enrique. Yeah, Sage Northcutt wins this fight. He wins it first round. He does it something great. He's going to like karate kick him, like doing some Chuck Norris stuff. Like where he spins like 3 or 4 times before he hits him. It's going to be great. Sorry, Enrique, but you're a great sacrifice for the sport to get Mr. Northcutt back in the winning column. And also, all you need about grappling. Enrique is averaging about 1 takedown per fight compared to 4.707. I stand corrected for Northcutt. So it becomes a ground war. Ground or striking. Sage has got this one. All right, prelim, almost done. All right, we got Diego Sanchez taking on Joe Lozon. God, fighty fight. These two guys are going there and just bang, bang, bang. I'm going to go with Lozon by decision. This is going to be a slugfest. It'll be great. Both these guys really aren't relevant anymore. But then go in, they can have some interesting fights. Sanchez, that fight against Cairo Parisian, where the teeth are flying everywhere. Dude has great fights. Lozon, dude goes in there and just gets upsets all the time. He beat up Jens Pulver. He beat up Melvin Goulart that one time. Whoever thought he's going to be a title shot away from a championship bid. Should be interesting. But I was looking at the stats here. Nothing jumping out at me, but Lozon looks like he has way better wrestling, better takedown accuracy, better takedown defense, and of course he's averaging more submissions. I'm going to go with Lozon, decision. Gegard Mousasi taking on Thiago Santos. We haven't really pulled the upset card too many times on this one. And I'm just looking at Gegard compared to Thiago. So there's any particular stat just jumps out at me as being particularly noteworthy. Well, Gegard, obviously the better wrestler, better takedown accuracy, better takedown. Well, actually, Thiago has a better takedown defense, but takedown accuracy favors Gegard. He's averaging more takedowns per fight. Thiago is not a submission fighter at all, so that leans towards him. Man, this is a tough one. Very, very tough one. My brain says Gegard Mousasi, but the fact that it's UFC 200 and freaky things happen on shows like this, it makes me say Santos. He goes in there, and I think he gets a fluky flash knockout, and if you bet on him, you make a lot of money. Going with Santos, knockout, round 1. And of course, our curtain jerker, Jim Miller taking on Takanori Gomi. This will be a war. These guys really aren't relevant anymore, but they bang. It's going to be standing the entire time. It's going to be hilarious. Lots of faces getting rocked, bruises everywhere, blood spurting all over the place. It's going to be worth watching. Maybe not as good as the Dong Hyun Kim 2 versus the Polo Rays guy from the last show, but an interesting curtain jerker nonetheless. I'm not going to bother the statistics. It's just going to be banging in the face for 3 rounds. And in that scenario, I'm going to go with Takanori Gomi. I'm just glad to see you have a guy from the Pride FC days fighting on UFC 200. In fact, you usually have a Pride guy who's like, 1 fight away from being in the main event. And you got all the Strikeforce representatives. You got dudes from WEC. It's just a really great comprehensive amalgamation of the mixed martial arts experience in the last 19, 20 years. And I don't know, it's going to be a great show. It has all the makings for being an all-time classic. Hope we're going to see lots of surprises, get some new announcements, see GSP coming back, get some word on that, find out what's going to happen with Ronda Rousey. McGregor's going to do something. Fedor might be making his big UFC announcement. Just lots of great stuff all across the board, and I can't wait. July 9th when they're doing it, right? Well, I can't get here fast enough. Those are my picks. I might be right, I might be wrong, but that's just the way I see them. And I'll be seeing you at the cage.